are brave, innovative, everywhere. We are SABRIC.
Now, did you know that statistics estimate that over 49 million people in the United States alone have tried online dating? There's been an undeniable surge in the use of online dating sites and apps in recent years, but with this technology comes great responsibility, and we need to be aware that it is an easy way for cyber criminals to seek out their victims. SABRIC CEO, the gorgeous one, Kalyani Pillay, is back in the loft to give us more insight into these scams and how they work so that we don't fall victim. Welcome back to the loft.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Lovely to have you with us. So obviously the advent of social media and access to people so easily and so quickly, and also dating apps, has increased risks of being scammed.
Yes.
How has that happened?
Absolutely. I think what happens is that the scamsters obviously know that people are vulnerable. It's a highly emotional issue, and unfortunately they prey on those particular people. And what we found is that through social media, because people just publish all kinds of information and they don't realize how these criminals are actually out there trying to gather enough information about you. So they create profiles of themselves. Of course, it's not the correct, it's not a true profile, it's not a true photograph of them. You'd get this amazing picture of this handsome or gorgeous person with an amazing body, you know, put up there. And of course, what they do is that they create profiles knowing that they've picked up things from social media that people have published on their own, or they've gone ahead and put out. And so they almost tailor-make it so they get particular kinds of people responding. So it's become very targeted in terms of how they're doing it as well. And unfortunately, people are falling for it. And we're saying generally to people, not just bank customers, but to anybody, know that the terrible part of it is that most often it's a scamster. The things that you need to look out for is the fact that most often they'd have a job that involves lots of traveling, jobs that they're not in the country that they normally live in. You would never get them to Skype call you, because of course you're going to see who it is. So they'll start avoiding. They'll avoid why they can't Skype call, you know, you can't have a Skype call or a video call, so that you're not actually seeing them, because the picture they have there is of somebody else.
Yeah.
And also, you know, there's a couple of things we're saying to people. Please, we understand that there's nothing wrong with a dating site or being on it, and many people have successfully met partners or made
gotten
friends.
married,
yes,
and had children,
absolutely.
and lived happily ever after.
But to look out for the signs, because ultimately what the person wants is money. Ultimately, that's what they're looking for.
Which brings me to my next question, right? So obviously, there's a lot of money that scammers have made. It's actually shocking how much money they do make. What are some of the tactics they use to get money?
So what they do is that they would first try and develop this relationship. They'd gain your trust. They're extremely forthcoming in terms of sharing their own personal stories.
They're so in love with you.
And you think, gosh, you know, very often women would say men don't talk about their feelings and don't talk about things. They do all the right things. So, of course, they gain the confidence, they gain trust. And once they do that, they wait a little bit. They're not impatient, so it builds over a little bit of time. And then they they may say to you they're coming to visit, and of course you're all excited. Or they may spin a story and tell you some sad story that somebody is very ill, and that's something to look out for. It's a very common thing. Their child is sick or their parents are sick and they desperately need to pay for medical attention. Unfortunately, because they're out of the country or they're traveling, they can't access their own money, and they just need to borrow it, and they will pay it back. Or alternatively, they would say they're coming to visit, and they create this whole wonderful situation. I mean, it's Valentine's Day next week. Everybody's in that sort of mode of wanting to celebrate. And of course, they would say, oh, we were about to buy the ticket, but we couldn't access our funds. And then, unfortunately, women are just transferring money, paying for things, and then only to find out. And another thing, Bonnie, to look out for is that in the communications, sadly, you know, it's the person's emotion, but you could be talking to 2, 3, 4 people. They have a whole room full of people who
heard
just
about that on dating apps.
Absolutely. They cut and paste, so look out for that as well. What you'd find is that if you have different looking fonts, different types of font, different sizes of fonts. They cut and paste because they're talking to a whole host of people
saying
at the
same
thing. And that's why you'll find they very often they don't use your name. They won't
So
say,
it's
hi,
darling,
Bonnie. Yes,
gorgeous,
it'll be
beautiful.
a generic sort of thing so that they can just cut and paste easily. You could even be talking to a female or male. It doesn't matter. You won't know.
Wow.
You really don't know.
Yeah.
But look out for those signs. And obviously, go to the SABRIC website. Time's never enough to talk about all the things. But you'll find far more information about it. Just be careful. Don't be over-emotional about it. You know, try and stay calm and rational when it comes to these kind of things.
Yeah, I think falling in love online requires a lot of restraint and a lot of rationality, right? And if it sounds too good to be true, it usually is.
Sure.
So next time, SABRIC CEO Kalyani Pillay teaches us how to #WiseUp and #WatchOut so that we know everything we need to know about staying safe and smishing.